The genre of the play is tragicomedy, which is a hybrid of the genres tragedy and comedy. The play elicits feelings of tension throughout, and it has a lot of drama mainly surrounding Austen and Lee, who have many moments of confrontation and violence with each other. However, there are also moments of comedic relief throughout the play, but since the play does not have a happy ending, it cannot be considered comedy. The style of this play is realism. This is because it uses a set that very closely mirrors what a real home in the time period the play is set in would look like. Additionally, the play deals with very average people, and the characters speak in a manner that is the same as how everyday people would talk to one another in the real world. Furthermore, the interactions between the characters are realistic and may parallel the family relationships of some audience members. This makes a difference in terms of the play's appeal to audiences because audiences may be more motivated to see the play or may have greater takeaways from it if they feel that the play parallels the real world and if they are able to identify with characters in the play. One way to advertise this play would be to highlight the play's connection to the Old West and the American dream. Furthermore, the comedic element should be advertised because this could reel in large and diverse audiences because everyone likes comedy. Additionally, the fact that the play is about complicated relationships among a family could interest audiences as well, since this is a controversial and interesting topic for most people. Words and phrases that could be used to describe or advertise this play include dramatic, hilarious, a commentary on the American dream, sibling rivalry, and dark comedy. For outreach and to promote the play, we could make flyers displaying photos of the Old West and some of the aforementioned words or phrases. We could hang these flyers in businesses and theaters surrounding the area in which we are producing the play to raise awareness.
Stage type is a very important aspect to the production because it can determine different tactics that a director may go about when envisioning a play. The first stage type that would benefit this play would be a proscenium stage. This stage is the typical stage for many shows across America. All the attention is focused to the front of the room and seating may be staggered for optimal view. This stage type is what a majority of the Broadway shows use and have a great deal of success in modern day in America. True West requires no audience participation, so this stage type would be perfect for putting on a production of True West. The second option for stage type is a thrust stage. This stage is surrounded by audience on three sides rather than from the front like a proscenium stage. When watching a play as an audience member, we often try and relate what's going on to our personal lives. This is called aesthetic distance. It is important for aesthetic distance to be enhanced while watching True West. Although this playwright doesn't allude to any audience participation, with this stage type, the director has the ability to include interactions with the audience members or any other ideas regarding participation. The simpleness of this stage type allows for minimal but detailed scenery that gives the audience an understanding that they are in a home. We're now going to look at the journey True West takes the audience on. This play is about the life of two brothers with different paths to the same big goal, to write a movie for Hollywood and get it produced by a big-time producer. There are many ups and downs throughout the play, and the chemistry between the brothers really sparks the attention of the audience. This play concludes with a summation of rage and fury between Austen and Lee, who battle it out, leaving the audience questioning what is going to happen between the brothers. This journey will keep the audience's attention focused in on what's going to happen next. The main conflicts that occur in True West are the constant battles between Austen and Lee, sometimes physical battles, but others over the attention they're receiving from a Hollywood producer. It seems that money is a big instigator when it comes to Lee, the older of the two. Both brothers want help from Saul, who is only after the best idea that can make the most money. There is constant conflict between the brothers on who gets to work with Saul, and Saul's motives don't help either. This play leaves off with a cliffhanger, which ends the tension between the brothers, causing the audience to want more, which is why this play would be perfect for a big city like Chicago or Cleveland.
Hi, my name is Sophie, and we are going to be talking about the types of characters that populate the world of the play True West. So, in the world of the play True West, the types of characters that take place throughout are those that represent different kinds of lifestyles, but also those that foil each other. Lee and Austen clearly foil each other in that their lives have taken very different routes. Moreover, Austen has been made out to be such an ambitious screenwriter who is not only successful, but content with his fulfilled lifestyle and career. Lee, on the other hand, is the exact opposite of Austen. He's a thief and a drunkard whose answer to every problem is an act of violence. Lee thinks that the idea of a good education is pointless and that he is just as knowledgeable as his brother, clearly stating their foiling of each other yet again. So next we are going to be talking about identifying with the characters in True West. So after my personal experience analyzing the play and discussing it with my group, I feel as though an audience really can identify and relate with the characters in the play, most often with either Lee or Austen. I believe that people can empathize or connect with themselves with either of the brothers. That is, if they possess a problematic and careless personality like Lee's, or if they're more driven and responsible as Austen is in the play. Either one, it is apparent that the audience will be able to put themselves in the brother situation because of the very common family dynamics that are presented. The idea of sibling bickering or altercation often arises in an individual's everyday life, so it would be likely for an audience to relate to a specific scene during the play. Because of the two main characters, Austen and Lee, they differ from each other to such an extent, it becomes obvious that their passion is to prove one another wrong. As the play manifests, there seems to be an important childhood among them that has become consequent in their actions toward each other in the present day. It seems evident that there is such strong inclination between the brothers to come off as more eminent and distinguished counterpart, to show that they are noteworthy in the small town in which they grew up in, while their father has stood as a roadblock for them at various times. All in all, their encounters communicate their internal and external conflicts between each other, but in the end prove to be a familiar sibling bond that has persisted over the years. In this next section, we are going to be talking about the role of the environment. So, throughout this particular play, the environment seems to be almost entirely in the same place, the kitchen of their mother's house. But it is not just an ordinary kitchen, yet it is one that holds and brings about a lot of emotion between Austen and Lee. Because it is their family kitchen, I feel that the casual atmosphere lets the brothers feel comfortable to express their feelings, whether if it is physical or understood without the need for communication. The environment often creates extreme tension between Austen and Lee, shedding even more light on their differences and disagreements. I believe that the author did intend to choose this kind of suspenseful environment to make their imbalances more obvious, causing their discrepancies and contradictions to set the stage for potential disputes that often turn out to be violent. In regards to the siblings' arguments, the audience may be able to relate their experiences with family members to the play and apply themselves in comprehending the emotions Austen and Lee are expressing. Another reason for presenting a production of the play is because True West explores and conveys conventional family occurrences. This is because the play expresses the emotions and common family matters that are likely to take place between siblings. Also, the relationship between Austen and Lee can evoke feelings of relation that an audience may have had with their siblings or family in their lives. Another reason is that True West provides a look at the importance of family roots as well. Austen feels as if he needed to prove himself worthy and distinguished to show that he was different or better than his family by creating himself a new identity. But an affluent life or top-notch education does not conceal one's true self. Also, an audience could even further relate to Austen as if they felt embarrassed by their morals or status of their family. They would be able to also see that even though a person can hide their whole lifestyle that they are potentially ashamed of, the underlying truth of originality will be revealed at some point in time, just like Austen shows in the play.
True West is a play that will leave audience members feeling grounded as well as connected to one another after seeing it. True West looks at the complex dynamic relationship between very different family members and what happens when two opposite forces collide. In the case of this play, those forces are the brothers Austin and Lee. In many ways, the conflict between these characters reflects each of our own internal struggles to balance our goals versus our self-imposed limitations. The play helps us to realize that everybody goes through highs and lows and has their own conflicts to face, both with others and with themselves. The play enlightens us more on the unique experience of being human and the implied relationships that come with that. The characters' struggles are relatable enough that watching them, we feel a sense of fellowship with them. We see what they're going through and can empathize with it. This invokes a cathartic emotional response from the audience that will leave them feeling better. The play gives us a glimpse into a real-life situation that we could really see ourselves in.
Hello, my name is Justin Allen, and I am going to be talking to you guys about the questions that are raised from True West message, and the audience type that True West would touch. It is very important that we look at the questions that are raised from True West. Some questions include: what's more important, an individual's happiness or fitting in with society? What makes a person truly happy? Can siblings be so different that they are actually the same? This is comparing Austin and Lee and how they change throughout the play. Also, how much influence do your parents have on you as a person? This is more along the lines of how their father, or what is referred to as the old man in the play, comes into play with how Austin and Lee both act as characters and individuals. Now that we have talked about the questions raised by True West and the message that True West portrays, let's talk about the audience type that True West would appeal to. I feel as though this play has meaning for basically any person in a mid-sized, diversely populated city. This is because of the sibling feuding, the two different ends of the economic spectrum that each main character is in, Lee being the poor thief and Austin being the well-established middle-class man. Another reason why people could connect with True West is there's a underlying theme of Austin realizing he wasn't happy with the American dream. This connects with individuals that aren't happy and want something different than society norms. From this play, there are many different ways that the audience can connect with it. As you can see in the bottom right-hand corner, those are the two main characters that play on Step Brothers. Even though they both grew up as only child, in their mid-40s, they realize that they can connect and share a brotherly bond, and they too, even though they are in their 40s, have that sibling fight that is portrayed in True West. True West is applicable in today's society, and the message it sends will draw a variety of audience in a mid-sized, diversely populated city. This is one of the reasons why we should produce this play. One of the main reasons why we should consider making a production of True West in a mid-sized, diversely populated city is because of the message that it portrays to the audience. The themes of True West still ring true today. Some of these themes are: the American dream isn't for everyone, and people need to stand up and make themselves who they want to be and not what society wants them to be. In today's society, there are people going against cultural norms and standing up for who they believe they are. An example of this is Bruce Jenner going from being a male to Caitlyn Jenner, which now identifies as female. The play is also about sibling alikeness and conflict. Austin and Lee show how, although siblings may fight, Through these fights, we often see the overall same individual within them. Everyone can relate to siblings fight. Whether or not you have a sibling is one thing, but we all hold people our age, such as best friends or cousins around the same age, as siblings. We all feel as though one way or the other, we all have siblings. So this is why the message of True West would connect to the audience in a mid-sized, diversely populated city.